my guy Andy, you got to pull the shirt out, man. I
My
love
favorite cities. I was just going through my favorite cities.
my guy Andy, man. He's always joining, partaking in the intro. I love it. We always cash when Andy comes on as well. He's always bringing professional looks with the props. My guy from Wager Talk. Obviously, I'm your host, Jay Money. It's my guy Andy, man, the prop guy. What's up with you, Andy? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, doing good. You and I talked a little bit last week, actually. Just I love how you guys do full disclosure about everything. So I try to follow the same thing. Started off NBA like red hot. It was like too good of a start, where it was like I know this isn't going to continue. Hit a lull a couple weeks ago, and we talked last week. It was like, right before the holidays, let's not worry about doing a show. And sure enough, we've picked right back up. Nice easy cash on Jeremy Grant last night, so we're back to our winning ways. So I'm feeling really good. You were just saying like January and February. That's when you strike, and I think it's really important to understand those types and just the times of the year when you have the most data, when you can really strike. So feel like I'm on an upswing, and I thought some of the things you and I talked about were pretty interesting.
Exactly, man. Yeah, it's always an interesting talk with my guy Andy here, but it's all business here on the show, man. We wasted enough of your time here, guys. Let's go ahead and no, we're not wasting your time. Y'all know how it is, but let's talk about some games here, man. We're gonna go through the top 5 games here on the board for myself and Andy. First game up, we're going to the streets of New York here. We have the Knicks getting 5.5 points at the house versus the Bucks here, Andy, and the total sitting at 228. I know you like to look at props here. We know that guys like to ball out in Madison Square Garden. Do you think that Giannis and the boys want to ball out here tonight? And also another question, someone that I respect has liking Brunson under points, under 20.5 points. How you think about what are you liking this game?
Well, you have kind of an interesting situation because the Knicks technically are coming off of a back-to-back. But it's not really a true back-to-back because the game was such a blowout against the Pistons.
Right.
That Brunson played 18 minutes last. That is it. So he's rested. He's fine.
Fresh.
Mitchell Robinson played 26 minutes. Barrett 24. So these guys, this is not a true back-to-back. So if you're looking at capping this game, I'd be a little bit cautious as trying to say, hey, this is a real back-to-back. Some of you they like Brunson under. Brunson has been on a streak on his overs, and he was well on his way to going over last night. I mean, his point total was 21.5. We almost played him, and we literally did not play him because we were worried about a blowout. So what happens? He gets 16 points in only 18 minutes. I would be worried about taking Brunson on an under. I will tell you who he's going up against, Drew Holiday. I would look at an under. 29.5. He's stats wise, he's just not quite getting it done. He's gone under in 6 out of 7. Obviously they're a little bit shorthanded, but it looks like Giannis is doing really good. I would expect Lopez to do good against Mitchell Robinson. I think is a little bit overrated. I would be nervous about taking Jalen Brunson, especially because they moved the line down. I think them moving the line down may be a little bit of a overreaction to last night. I would have to respectfully disagree. I would expect Brunson to go over and Holiday to go under.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off there. Yeah, and one thing there, like I said, I didn't bet the play. It's just that just a look in the game that I want to ask you about. Like you said, ever since Holiday's coming back from that injury or illness, whatever he hadn't really looked right there. He is a great defender, though. That is something that you don't really get rusty at. It's either you're a good defender or you're not. So I must say, though, matchup wise, Andy, Brunson going up against Holiday is not necessarily the best matchup for Brunson, in my opinion. But he's obviously one of the highest usage guys on the team. Sometimes he can be a little ball hog and like, no. I'm not passing. I'm driving in. So it is what it is. But any other props you're looking at in this game, Andy?
I would be nervous about going back to Julius Randle. I think this sets up for a pretty nice under situation for him. It just shot lights out, went absolutely crazy. And let's just say that going up against Giannis is a little bit different than going up against the Pistons. So I see regression for Julius Randle. You might look at his PRA because rebounding is pretty tough against those towers inside for Milwaukee. So I would possibly look at Julius Randle under on this one.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off of that one as well. And just the way I was looking at this one sidewise, I did slightly lean to the Bucks here. Obviously they're playing some good basketball right now. They're 4-0 straight up and against the spread last four versus the Knicks. They obviously have the rest advantage as well. 4-1 against the spread. And last five on the road versus losing teams here as well. So I would like to lean Bucks, but this is not the game that I bet. I've actually been trying to find spots to fade the Bucks. So not so sure here. Two teams that I'm not real sure what to do with, in my opinion. So let's go over here to the streets of Minnesota here, Andy. We got the Wolves here getting 2.5 points at the house versus the Grizzlies here. Wonder why this line is coming down, man. This line opened up at 5. It's coming down to 2.5 for the Grizzlies here. Seems real easy to take the Grizzlies here. Andy, do you like any props in this game?
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting look to see what this Minnesota team is going to look like. There is a potential. It's a small potential, but this could open up the paint maybe for some of these guards for Minnesota. Then now that they don't have, Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert in there, I think maybe that might actually help them a little bit, believe it or not. So, and with Karl Anthony Towns out, I mean, that is a lot of stats on the board that is going to have to be replaced. So I think if I'm looking at Minnesota, I would cautiously look at Anthony Edwards over his points, rebounds, and assists. To me, he seems the most likely to gobble up some of those rebounds, and things like that. But I got to tell you, we just did a free video on this. I am loving what I'm seeing from Jaren Jackson. He's who I would gravitate towards in this game. Since he's come back, his first game he came back, he didn't do so hot, but he's gone over 20 points in all the games. They've got his number at 19.5. This is an aggressive move by the books. Last game, it was 15.5 on his points. Now it's 19.5. But when you look at the starting lineups, it looks like they're going to start Kyle Anderson at the power forward spot. That is a massive advantage for Jaren Jackson. So I think Jaren Jackson has a big game tonight. But with him, as you well know, Jay, if this MFer would stop fouling and stop getting himself into foul trouble, it's literally his one downside. Like, just stop fouling. But if he doesn't get into foul trouble, big game for him. I would take his points over.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I like what you said at first. Anthony and well, guys, this is a situation where Carl or Cat being out could be addition by subtraction, in my opinion here. So I'm one of Wolves here. I'm all over the fucking Wolves in this game, Andy. I took them last night plus the 4. It's moved down to plus 2.5, and I like it because this is a public fade. A lot of people hopping on the Grizzlies here, but the line is moving another way. I think some of the sharp people are looking at the same things that I'm looking at. Cat being out, now you only have one big out there, right? So you don't have two fighting for the paint or fighting for the shots. We know that Cat wasn't really big anyway. So not really sure, but I think it's crazy to say, but I think they're better off with just Gobert. They can kind of play like the Utah Jazz, right? Shoot a lot of threes, pick and roll, 1 and 5, and he can stand there on defense and kind of basically play like a rover type of defender as well. They opened up the quarter, the second half with an 8-0 run versus the Wizards and Elwin. And then obviously Cat went down. That was basically the rest of the game. It was a bad spot for him. Now coming back to the house with same season revenge and playoff revenge. Someone said use the same angles, Jay. Yeah, because they work, bro. So it's simple. I mean, what do you want me to do? Go away from what works, man. But regardless of that, they've lost 3 straight. They're in desperate need of a win here. Grizz 0-4 against the spread last 4 versus a team with the losing record, and also 1 and 5 against the spread last 6 following the ATS win. But regardless of all that, I like the Wolves here collectively to get a big win. You know how it is. Sometimes star player goes out, someone steps up, and I definitely think it's going to be Anthony Edwards. I think he's going for 30 tonight. And Dylan Brooks, questionable as well on the Grizzlies side. If he's out, their best defender, I definitely see Ant going bonkers in this game. But regardless, him, Noel, you need guys like Nas Reed. This is an all hands on deck spot right here. One key point I'll say, hopefully Jay McDaniels comes back. He's been sick, but with him being upgraded from doubtful to questionable, hopefully he comes back to play here. I need the Wolves here, guys. They're plus 2.5. I like them on the money line. I like the Wolves here, top play of the day here, Andy. And I really do think Anthony Edwards is the prop in this game, my guys. That's what I'd be looking. Gobert rebounds could get there as well, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here, Andy. We got the Pelicans getting 2.5 points versus the Raptors. Got to find some type of props here, right, Andy? I feel like when guys are going out, especially ball handlers like Ingram and McCollum, and main scorers as well, right? Someone has to do it for the Pelicans now. So what do you think? Jose Alvarado probably comes in here and starts, right? What do you think? What do you think? A little sneaky points total for Jose Alvarado.
Interesting. I had not looked at Jose Alvarado. I think he's a good bench player. I think he's good in you know what? You know what he reminds me of? Like really, really spicy hot sauce. I just need a little bit of Jose Alvarado. I don't need a gigantic helping of Jose Alvarado. I just need a little bit on my chip. So do you know what do you know what I mean, Jay?
Chips with the dip.
Yeah, it's a complimentary piece. So I'm a little worried on him taking over in this scoring role. But there are a couple things that I would like to bring up in this one. I want to start with the Raptors. If you're handicapping the Raptors, you have to know this stat. So far, the Raptors' defensive efficiency was Pascal Siakam in the lineup is 108.2. That's good for 8th best in the NBA. Okay. Without Siakam, it's 115. That's 3rd worst behind Detroit and San Antonio. This guy's defense is so underrated. When he is in the lineup, that is a completely different defensive team. And I got to be honest, what I don't trust about this perimeter for the Pelicans is them being able to set up Zion and possibly Valanciunas. So I'm going Zion under his points, 25.5. You've got Siakam, who is just that shifty defender. You've got Zion, who sometimes can create his own shots, but he just doesn't have McCollum and Ingram to spread the floor, create that drive, and to create those open looks for him. I think this is a very clunky game for the Pelicans. The Raptors are starting to get more and more healthy. And as you see these guys come back, you're seeing, and the Pelicans, they won 2 out of 3, but they're not against, I think San Antonio was one of them, and the Thunder was in the other one. They just got blown off the floor by Memphis. So I'm not a believer in this Pelicans team. I think this is a big time struggle for them. I would look at their team total under, and I will also tell you one that this is a play you just play every night. Okay. It's only -110. OG to have a block. He is he's 15-5 to the over.
Damn, okay.
So if you played him every game this year, you would have won 15 times. He's had 2 in a row. It's just one of those where if it loses, you just come back and play it again because you're going to get a better price. This is one of those every time the Raptors play, just take OG to have a block. But tonight, I'm all about the Raptors, and I'm about Zion under his points.
I couldn't talk you out. I'll be honest. I am a fan of the Pelicans team. I do think this team is underrated. I'm not taking them tonight, though, without CJ McCollum. They were down, not only without McCollum, they were down Najee Marshall, CJ McCollum, and Brandon Ingram. So you could argue that Ingram and CJ McCollum they're basically their 2 point guards. Those are their 2 main ball handlers. So they're definitely going to be missing some scoring tonight. But you know what? I'd still lean Pelicans here. Me personally, they are 4-0 against the spread and 3-1 straight up last 4 versus the Raps. They're 7-3 at the house as well. So that's where the Pelicans ball out. Raptors only 3-7 on the road. That's not really where they play their best basketball. And Raps only 1-4 against the spread last 5 road games. Also, first road game after 3 straight home games as well. And they do have the Nets on deck. So it's a ton of guys out for the Pelicans. I wouldn't take them. If they had McCollum, I might be backing them. But I think it's an even better spot to look towards the under here. As soon as I saw McCollum out, I was like, yeah, it's definitely an under spot even more now. I see defense here. This is 2 of the top 10 slowest teams in the league as well. Well, not the Pelicans. They're kind of like middle of the pack, but the Raptors are one of the slowest paced teams in the league. You have 2 top 7 defenses in the league as well. So both teams play really sticky defense, really physical. And when you parlay that with the Pelicans not having their ball handlers, and I think the Pelicans can, Jose Alvarado, guys like that can play defense versus Van Fleet, Siakam, guys like that. I see a dead nuts under game. I don't see this game getting past 215 in my opinion. So under 222.5 is the way that I would look in this game, my guys. Now, a few more games here, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Phoenix here, Andy. We got the Suns laying 5.5 points versus the Chicago Bulls. Bulls starting to get a little hot here. Won 3 of the last 4 games. Suns obviously hot. They've won 5 straight, but I just maybe the Bulls keep this close here. What do you think about some DeRozan and Levine props on the Bulls side? And what do you think about some Devin Booker props for the Suns?
this could absolutely turn into the Devin Booker, like DeRozan, just going back and forth.
Duel.
Pretty big overreaction by the books. And so I think you're getting value on DeRozan. His point total last game was 27.5. He got off to a horrific shooting start in the first quarter, ended up with 26, despite that really bad start. The books have lowered it to 25.5. That's a little bit too low. I would go with him. It's chalky. It's a little bit of an obvious play, but sometimes the obvious ones hit. You got to go with DeRozan over, especially because I think Vucevic struggles. Vucevic, this guy is so confusing, man. Him and Valanciunas, like, good luck figuring out what stats you're going to get from these guys from night to night. I tend to just stay away from Vucevic altogether, but especially when he's going up against a legit defender. And Ayton's not the best, but he's middle. He's top half in the league as far as defending the inside. He can also keep up with Vucevic on the outside. So if Vuce struggles just a little bit, they're going to attack on the perimeter. I'm not sure who Bridges is going to be on. Maybe they use him probably on Levine. So I would think if Bridges stays on Levine, it's going to open up for DeRozan a little bit. I'm certainly not taking unders on Devin Booker at this point. So the one guy I would look to fade, Cam Payne. It's just not like he just seems to be the odd man out with Chris Paul out. You knew it was kind of got to be spread all over the place, but it looks like Cam Payne is the one who's struggling just a bit. I'll look at his under 3-pointers. His 3-point shooting has been horrific. He hasn't made 2 3-point shots in like 4 games in a row. Take his under 1.5. So I look for DeRozan to have a good game, Cam Payne to keep the struggling going, and Booker to be the main source of offense on Phoenix tonight.
Yeah, and that shot is ugly as hell from Cam Payne, man. Yeah, I can't stand that shot, bro. It's just ugly. I'm like, damn, bro, you almost finna fall over or you get ready to shoot, man. So that shooting form is horrible to me, man. But yeah, I mean, you have some good points there. I'd lean Bulls there. I wouldn't lean Bulls plus the 5.5. They do have a big game on deck. They do have a national TV game versus the Warriors on deck, so possible look ahead. But the way they're rolling right now, they kind of have to just keep playing their basketball, and I wouldn't be surprised if they kept this game within a couple of possessions, if not have a chance to win. So the Suns have been winning, but their past 3 games have basically been like right down to the wire. They've kind of sort of been teetering on a loss, in my opinion. The Bulls can match up well as well, not really with Vucevic, but the Levine and DeRozan. Let me just tell you this: whoever Bridges is not on is probably going for 30 tonight. So I know you can live bet props as well. See who Bridges is paying more attention to. Levine or DeRozan are going off in this game. I can tell you that right there. But Booker has been balling as well. Let's go over here to the streets of Sac. We're going to Sac Town here, man. We got the Kings laying 4.5 points versus the Pacers here by Andy's Pacers here, man. This is a big game, right? Halliburton, Hield going back to Sac Town, Sacramento for the first time since being traded. Sabonis going up against his old squad as well, first time since being traded. But don't forget about De'Aaron Fox as well here, my guys. He's going to have something to say here as well. Obviously, they traded Halliburton to go all in on Fox, so he's going to want to show that they didn't make the wrong decision here. Andy, well, how are you looking at this game?
If you are a fan of points and you do not like lockdown defense, this is the game for you. There will not be a lot of defense in this game. So you have to really try and figure out where are the points going to be coming from. They moved Sabonis. If you're a prop better, you know the Sabonis assist over has been a cash cow. They raised it up to 1. I would still take it. It's up to 6.5. This guy is just one of the main distributors on this team. And the Pacers, Miles Turner's okay. His offense has gotten a lot better this year. I feel like his defense has taken a step back. And even though the Pacers may know Sabonis well, I don't think they have the personnel to really, really stop him. I expect him to hit a lot of open guys for some shots. The interesting thing about Sabonis is do not play his points, rebounds, and assists. The books are really onto that one. They have it at 36.5, and he's been going under that total barely. So if you're playing Sabonis, take a look at his points or just his assists. I'm going to be playing just his assists. Halliburton has become very frustrating. Do you play his points? Do you play his points and assists? I think you're just playing his points tonight. I think the fire's going to get under him a little bit, seeing Sacramento and seeing Fox, and the perimeter of Sacramento is not very good. I used to play Hield quite a bit, but he's just become feast or famine. Like if you're
Right.
playing over his points,
That's
you're
him.
flying over or
That's
it's
him.
flying under. And so I find him a little bit unplayable. Jalen Smith, take a look at under his points, rebounds, and assists tonight. He had that insane game the other night, but it was all in the first half, and then he just went ice cold the second half, and then that was about as easy as an under gets his very next game. So Jalen Smith, seriously, go look at the stat line. It's hysterical what that guy did. He's not a great offensive player. He has his
Right.
moments, but tonight's an under for Jalen Smith. I'm taking Halliburton over his points. I'm taking Sabonis over assists. I'm staying away from Hield. And if you like a lot of offense and a lot of excitement, this game is going to be great. These are two really surprising. I don't know if Sacramento's surprising. My Pacers are surprising
Right.
with what they're doing this year, but
They are.
should be a lot of fun. I would say these are two of the top maybe 7 teams in terms of fun to watch. I just thoroughly enjoy watching these two teams play.
Definitely two of the most improved as well here, guys. I like the Kings here, guys. I do think I love the Pacers. I like what they're doing. Love Benedict Mathurin and Halliburton. I love Halliburton. I mean, I was telling guys when he came out of Iowa State, this guy is a baller here, man. Maybe the Kings weren't the best at getting him good or whatever at building him up. But regards to that, I like the Kings tonight, minus the 4.5, and it's mainly all on motivation, right? The Pacers will have motivation, but they're in a letdown spot. They're coming off a huge emotional win. And I know how when you're coming off a game-winning shot like that, they're still thinking about that shit today, guys. I'm telling you, it's something that sticks into your head. And guess what? It's hard to come in really motivated, pissed off at another team as well when you're still thinking about the game before here. So the Kings, they're pissed off. They're in bounce back mode. They're off 3 straight losses here. They are 3-1 straight up and against the spread last 4 meetings. 10-1 against the spread last 11 games playing on 1 day's rest. 5-2 against the spread last 7 home games, and also 7-3 against the spread last 10 versus winning road teams. So they play up to their competition at the house. You see it last game versus the Suns. They basically could have beat them, but it was just a horrible spot for the Kings as well. If I'm not mistaken, coming back home first game, but regards to that, coming off a couple of big losses, the Celtics and the Suns. But regards to that, I think the Kings come out here to play. And another note, you know how I look at these games, guys. You have somewhat an Eastern Coast team, kind of Midwest, Mid-East. Regardless, Indianapolis, this is gonna be a late night game for him, Andy. I'm sure you probably want to be staying up all night to watch this game, right? Will you?
Absolutely.
On these put like this, Andy. On these late night games, this one's 10 o'clock Eastern. Around what time will this end for you? Like 1 o'clock in the morning,
around 12:30.
12:30. So I'd say 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So just look at the body clock. This will turn into a sleepy spot for the Pacers as this game goes on. But I lean Kings first half as well, minus the 2. I might sprinkle a little some on that. I think the Kings come out here early and often, try to run these guys off the floor. Obviously, both of them like to run and gun, but as this game goes on, I do think the Kings have the advantage. They have the shooters to keep up with these guys, and they're playing defense as well. That's the main change with the Kings. They have I can't say basically the same team with Adam Huerter and Malik Monk and Keegan Murray, but it's the coaching, guys. He's preaching defense, and they're listening. You see what I'm saying? Give me the Kings here, minus 4.5, and I like the first half as well at the minus 2 there. And I like all of Andy's props, man. If you like props for this game, you like overs. Your offense, this is the game for you. Threes for Hallie, for Fox, all that shit, man. Mathurin points, you're gonna look at all that, man. But Sabonis and Fox, it's a huge game for these guys, man. So last game up, guys. Go over here to the streets of LA. We have the Lakers getting laying 5.5 points versus the Blazers in this one, Andy. How we looking at this game, my guy? You got any props in this one?
Yeah, well, I just want to mention, I did not mention Mathurin because there's no line out for him. So, but yes, He's been fantastic. I can't talk about the guy that doesn't have a line. So Portland, what I love about Portland is that they're predictable, and that's what we like about teams. They have a very short rotation. They're only playing 3 or 4 bench guys. Those guys are not playing very, very many minutes. And then you look at who they're starting, and all the points are coming from 2 guys. There's Simons and Jeremy Grant. So yesterday, the point total for Jeremy Grant was 21.5. That was an easy cash. They had Simons at 23.5. That was an easy cash. I don't know why you would get off of these guys. They have the minutes, they have the matchups, they have the opportunity, and they have the volume. They are going to be firing away, both these guys. I thought Jeremy Grant had the best matchup last night. I think Simons probably has it today, but Simons'
Mhm.
number is 25.5. Grant is 23.5. I I think I'd go right back to Jeremy Grant just because his number is a couple points lower, 23.5, because Josh Hart is not getting it done on the offensive end. And then, as long as Anthony Davis is playing tonight, it's going to be a tougher night for Nurkic. He shouldn't have a ton of
Mhm.
points. That means it's just more and more for Grant and Simons. And I really like when these teams, what to expect night in and night out. I know those guys are going to take the shots. For the Lakers, now that LeBron and AD are back, you're looking at Lonnie Walker under. He was really good on his points total when one or both of those guys were out. Now that they're both
Mhm.
back, he's just not getting it done. And then this one's been cashing a lot. LeBron under his points, rebounds, and assists. It was 41.5 last game. He had 31. So they lowered it to 39.5. He's not getting all the rebounds inside. That's Anthony Davis. His 3-point
Mhm.
shooting is not been good. And, he's just
He's
these
old.
numbers. Yes. Yes. I was trying to be more diplomatic about it,
No,
but
he's
he's
old, man.
old and he's
Fuck.
not the LeBron from a few years ago, but they're pricing him like he is. So, I
Exactly.
mean, when they're putting your PRA up at 41 and you're coming in at 31, that's a big, big difference. And the
Right.
the books, I think he's just a night in and night out under on these. He'll have a crazy 3-point shooting night, but he's not getting the rebounds. He's not getting the assists. So LeBron is an under, as well as Lonnie Walker for me when AD and LeBron are back.
Yeah, and they got to try to rest them as much as possible as well. That's a good look there, Andy. That's what we try to find as sports bidders as well, man. When the market thinks one thing, but we think another. See what I'm saying? So we always talk about overvalued, undervalued, things like that. And what Andy's saying, maybe LeBron could be overvalued just off of his name. And it's kind of like the Tom Brady thing in NFL as well. People betting, oh, it's Brady, he can't lose, or he so and so Brady. This guy is old, man. These guys are 40 some years old, man. Their prime is like past for 10 years. Like, what are we doing here? So I love LeBron. Well, I used to be a huge LeBron fan, but he's obviously not the LeBron. He's kind of just hanging around waiting on his son to come. See what I'm saying? So you guys can be taking PRAs over if you want, or think LeBron makes a difference, or they still like when he's out there changing the line 3 points and shit. It's not worth this. Come on, stop it, man. Settle down here, guys. But let's get let's get to some free picks here, my guys. Get to some free picks. Andy, let the people know what you got going over at Witch Talk and what props you like in tonight, my brother.
Yeah, sure. Well, I love how you said they're resting him. Yeah, they're resting him for that championship run they're going to make later.
Hell no.
Can't have him tired for that championship run. Uh, uh, yeah, what do we have over at Wager Talk? Well, 4% NBA play is up tonight. We have a 5% NFL play. These have been great all season, 12 and
Mhm.
4. So these number one at Wager Talk on 5% NFL plays, and we have a 4% UFC play for Saturday. If you want to use, we do have a promo code. It's good to tonight. R then the number 2M50 gets you 50% off a 30-day pass. It includes all 5%, all plays. But let's do free play. Evan Mobley over his rebounds. As long as Jared Allen is out, I'm taking Mobley over his rebounds. Easy
Okay.
cash. Last game, they had it at 9.5. He had 15. He had 13 the game before. His total tonight is 10.5, and they're playing Philadelphia. And you may say, well, Embiid. Yeah, but Clint Capella had 16 rebounds against this Philly team when it was just Embiid. Plumlee had 13 rebounds against
Damn.
this team when it was just Embiid. They did out rebound Orlando twice, but Orlando was without Wendell Carter Jr.
Mhm.
So they should out rebound him. So Mobley is going to have to be on the court a ton because he's the only one left to take on Embiid. He's great at not getting into foul trouble. This guy's like never in foul trouble. He's going to get there by sheer volume. Not a lot of sharpshooters for Philly with Maxey and Harden out, so there's a lot of rebounding opportunities. So look for Mobley. Anytime Jared Allen is out, man, I'm looking to Mobley over his rebounds. It's been a really good one. That's my best bet for tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off that. And Andy gave out plenty of other props as well for the Kings game. He's looking at some props, and every game that we talked about, guys, Andy gave out props. So, like I say, excuse me, if you're coming back checking out the show late and you're just looking at the free pick side, sometimes you do have to go back to check out the whole show. It's always broken up game by game, but a lot of info game to game, guys. So I just wanted to put that out there. Don't necessarily just go to the end and look for the free picks as well. So you might miss a ton of info in that one. For me today, guys, I'll give you one. I'm on the Wolves here, plus the 2.5. It's simple. I need Wolves and Kings. Do you have more plays if you want to check out the first show? But Wolves and Kings, we'll go two official plays on the day, my guys. I may add some more. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And real quick, I want to let you know the shirts as well, like that fine one that Andy has on right there. I don't have any more large or XL, but still plenty of Smack City shirts, Jay and Shark, Us Against the Bookies, and Let's Get Some Cash shirts, guys. All shirts $10 off, and you get a free pair of glasses right now, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe. It's Us Against the Bookies, my guys. We will win. We out of here. We back tomorrow. Let's cash. Back on Friday, man.